Happy Winter Solstice. Maybe you've known for a good majority of your life what the winter solstice is. But do you actually know the reason why we experience winter solstice in a deep spiritual way? Do you know how this universal energy is trying to guide and support you in your life? Today, I want to share with you the what, why, and how of the winter solstice so you can create a winter solstice ceremony that feels good to you and is allowing you to integrate and embody this universal energy. Before we get into it, thank you so much for joining me here. If you don't know, my name is Sydney and I'm a spiritual mentor. This obviously is my channel called Sydney the Spirit Guide. And I am here to bring different perspectives on spirituality, energy, and connecting to the universe so you can explore your own spirituality. So if this is your first time here in my space, thank you so much for joining me. If you've been following along on my journey for a while now, thank you so much for coming back into my space and being part of my community. I so love to have each and every single one of you here. As I said, this is a space where I want to support and guide you on your spiritual journey. So I'm going to try my best to provide a little bit more information on the winter solstice today so you can understand what it is, why it's important for you to connect to it, and how you can create a winter solstice ceremony for yourself. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button because then you can follow along my channel here and you can follow along my journey and we can connect a little bit more. If you enjoy this video, then hit that thumbs up button because it allows me to know that you enjoyed it so I can continue to create content like this for you because that's why I'm here. I'm creating this content for you in hopes that it helps you on your journey. So let's dive into it. What is the winter solstice? Well, it marks the shortest day of the year. You probably already knew that. So let's explain a little bit more of what this spiritual significance is of the winter solstice, because it marks the beginning of the winter season. For those of us in the Northern Hemisphere, today, if you're watching this on December 21st, today is winter solstice. But even if you're watching this after December 21st, you can still create a winter solstice ceremony to honor the energy of the winter season in order to embody this energy and support yourself through the flow of this universal energy. So again, spiritual significance. It's easy for me to go on tangents. So guiding myself back to why we're here. What is the spiritual significance of the winter solstice? Well, as I said, it marks the shortest day of the year. So it means that the darkness far outweighs the light. And that is exactly what the spiritual significance of this universal energy is telling us. Yes, the light is beautiful, and when we are in our light, it's easy to feel energized and uplifted and take action and go and hustle. But as we know, every single phase of life is important, and we're beginning to understand that the old paradigm that society has told us to go, 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 it's not actually working. That energy of do is not actually how we create a life of enjoyment. The winter solstice and the winter season is guiding us back to the energy of being, even when we don't feel uplifted and when we don't feel energized. We can still honor the way that we feel in this space. So winter solstice is reminding you to rest and heal. It's telling you now is a time to go slow and turn inwards. That is the main spiritual significance of winter solstice and the entire winter season. Now is a time for healing and rest. Now is a time for introspection, right? So why? Why are we taking the time to connect to the winter solstice and this winter season? Well, as you know, like I just said, every single phase is important, and every single phase has a certain aspect that we need to connect to and we need to learn from in order to create our own growth. Because ultimately, that's why we're here. We're here to learn and grow and gain more experiences and gain more wisdom so then we can up level into the next cycle. Well, if we're constantly hustling and doing and taking action, then we're actually impeding our own growth. Because action's great. Moving forward is great. But when we're taking action and we're moving forward, we're forgetting to slow down and look at the lessons and turn inwards and ask ourselves, is this actually the direction I want to move in? Or what is the energy I'm carrying in taking action? Or have I learned something recently that allows me to carry a better energy in taking action? Or am I taking action based off of old behaviors and old habits that don't serve me, right? Why we are connecting to the winter solstice is because the earth and the sun are reminding us that rest is needed. Healing is needed in order to prepare ourselves for the surge of energy and light that is coming in spring, right? You know that exhaustion is real. Burnout is real. Right? Feeling drained is real. Your energy matters. And if you're constantly pushing and hustling and feeling pressured and forced to move forward, then you're going to lead yourself to that burnout so much faster, and you're going to feel exhausted so much quicker. And then you're going to shame yourself. And you're going to guilt yourself and you're going to judge yourself for not having the energy to move forward. Winter is a time that is literally saying it's okay to slow down. It's okay to rest. Healing is necessary. And in order for you to prepare for that spring season when the surge of energy comes, now you need to reflect. You need to reflect on the past year so you can integrate the lessons learned and fully release the pain endured, right? I believe that if we aren't acknowledging the energy that we've experienced, then that energy stays stagnant in our body, right? I'm sure you can understand that maybe if you've experienced something painful in the past because of a way that a certain person behaved towards you, that wound is carried within you. And if you're not careful, if you're not aware of how that wound is guiding you, then you're going to react in a future situation based off of the pain that you've experienced from a past situation. Meaning, you're not acting from your higher self. You're acting from a past version of you that experienced pain. So, winter is a time to look at that pain. It's scary. It's not easy, right? This deep healing is challenging. It's difficult. It's asking you to step out of your comfort zone. And at the same time, it's necessary. Because when we allow ourselves to support ourselves through the deep healing process, that is when true growth emerges, right? Often we're so easily looking outside of us for the answers. We're asking other people for their opinions in order to make a decision that is best for us. But ultimately, the best decision for you is the one that you make based off of the information that you've gained from yourself. We're so afraid of looking internally because emotions are scary and they hurt. But if you're not willing to feel the emotion, then you will not allow yourself to grow. So it's very important to connect to the energy behind winter solstice and this entire 3-month season, because that's what allows you to grow and evolve and up level into the next cycle of your life. Healing is necessary. Rest is necessary. If you broke your arm, you wouldn't just continue life in the same way. No, you would go to the doctor, they would look at it, they'd operate, they'd make sure it's all fixed up, they'd put a cast on it, and they'd say, rest, you need to heal. That's what winter says. As a spiritual being, we need to recognize that the energy we carry inside of us is important. And although we cannot see it, it's there. We have to be willing to acknowledge it. And that requires rest. It requires healing. Through introspection, we can better understand where the wisdom lies and where the healing is needed in order to release the pain and up-level into the next stage of life. So that gives you a little bit of a better understanding of why it's important to acknowledge the energy of the winter season, right? And how connecting to that energy can ultimately help you to grow. We get to release the wounds, release the pain, gain the wisdom, right? We become wiser. We have more knowledge. We have more lessons learned. So we don't fall into the same patterns. We don't repeat the same cycles. That's the point. That is the point of winter. Gather the wisdom, gather the information, gather the medicine, so you don't repeat the same cycle over and over and over again. Next time something happens, you can take a step back and say, wait, I've been here before. I've experienced something similar to this. I've already learned the lesson because I already endured the pain. So I'm going to choose to behave differently this time. But in order to have that moment, you have to move through the winter season of introspection, healing, and rest. So how can you create a winter solstice ceremony that supports and guides you in honoring this energy and integrating it into your being? Well, as we know, winter solstice marks the shortest day of the year and the start of the winter season. So having a winter solstice ceremony is not a flip of the switch. It's not a moment where we say, okay, we did the work, now we should be better. It's a moment in time where you're choosing to honor the universal energy that surrounds you. So you can set the intention to support and guide yourself as you move through this phase or this season of life. Winter solstice ceremony is not about saying, okay, here are all the lessons, great, I've learned them, because we're human. We forget a lot of the time. So it's about setting the stage of how you desire to move through this next season so you can try and remember more often than you forget. So I'm going to share a couple quick tips of how you can lead yourself through a winter solstice ceremony. Okay? Remember, it's the start of winter, so throughout the next 3 months, you're going to be moving through the same energy of introspection, healing, and rest. So really make sure you honor that energy and you support yourself through that process. Maybe you're watching this after winter solstice. That's okay. You can still create a ceremony for yourself to honor this energy in order to support and guide yourself through the season. Tip number 1 when it comes to a winter solstice ceremony: open sacred space. This is a moment where you are extremely intentional with your energy and knowing that you can't do life alone. So you're asking your divine team to come in and support you and guide you through this process. Your divine team is your ancestors, your angels, your spirit guides, your animal guides. Maybe you connect to Mother Earth, Father Sky, Grandfather Sun, Grandmother Moon, and the star nations. The idea is that you're calling in the spirit beings to come into this space with you to honor your energy as you move through this ceremony. Tip number 2, grab your journal and a pen. Ceremonies are a beautiful time for you to look inwards. Look at the energy you're carrying. Look at the thoughts you're experiencing. Look at the emotions that you've been holding on to, right? Winter is a time where the land freezes. For those of us that are further away from the equator, the land freezes, and it's saying even though the top layer is frozen, so we're not taking a lot of action, there's still something that is happening within, right? That's what we're doing. We're not taking action on all these ideas and dreams. We're looking within to see, what am I carrying that maybe is resisting those dreams from coming true? What pain am I holding on to that's holding me back from trusting my intuition? What emotions are deeply embedded within me? What thoughts are deeply embedded within me that are guiding me towards fear rather than faith? So grab that journal, reflect on your past year. What challenges did you experience? What can you learn from those challenges? What was the pain you endured, whether physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual? Look at the successes, the celebrations that you've moved through in the past year. What can you gain from those? How did it feel? Are those celebrations and successes guiding you in a direction that you want to continue to head in? Take time for introspection, okay? That reflection period is going to be extremely beneficial for you as you move through this season, because you're going to be able to start to embody those lessons more and to continue that healing practice. Tip number 3, meditate. This is a beautiful moment where you can really integrate and embody the energy. Right? Meditation allows us to step out of our critical thinking minds and step into the energy of being. This is where we create that shift in energy. We transmute any of the heavy energy we've been experiencing, and we bring light into our bodies to remind ourselves of the peace that we desire to move forward with. A meditation for your winter solstice ceremony can be a visualization practice, right? If you close your eyes, focus on your breath, and visualize yourself hibernating. Maybe you're in a cocoon. And the idea behind this hibernation, as you're visualizing yourself, you're seeing the lessons, the energy of the lessons and the healing being integrated into your body. And you're watching the pain dissolve away. You're watching the hurt or the challenges be transmuted. And that energy is moving down into the earth, where Mother Earth is recycling that energy and cleansing it. So it's a beautiful visualization practice that you can use to really imagine that shift in energy taking place as you rest and heal. Finally, tip number 4 for your winter solstice ceremony is close sacred space. When we open sacred space, we open ourselves to the spirit world, and it makes us extremely vulnerable. If you consider yourself an empath, you're already extremely vulnerable to energy that surrounds you. And opening sacred space really opens up that vulnerability even more. So it's really important that after you're finished a ceremony, you close that sacred space. Really, I encourage you to do this anytime you meditate. Closing sacred space is not saying, okay, I'm done with the spirit world, I'm no longer listening to my spirit guides, but it's simply closing that energetic space around you so nothing can come in and impede your experience through life. Your spirit guides and your angels can still guide you, but you're not as open to other energies coming in and affecting or influencing you. Okay, so it's taking a moment there to close that energy, to set up a shield to protect you, and most importantly, to thank your divine team for coming into this space and guiding and supporting you. As you close sacred space, you can also set the intention that you're asking for clarity from your divine team. You can say, thank you so much for coming into this space and guiding me as I move through this winter solstice energy. And if there's anything extra that I need to know, I trust that you are bringing the right messages forward for me at the right time. Thank you so much for being in this space with me and honoring me as I traverse this human experience. I really hope that this has brought you a little bit more guidance into what the winter solstice is, why it's important for you to connect to that energy, and how you can create a winter solstice ceremony that feels good to you and allows you to integrate and embody the universal energy of winter. I would love to hear from you. Drop a comment below. What was something that you learned from this video that you didn't think of previously? Or tell me what was something that you already knew, but maybe it was a beautiful opportunity to just affirm what your spirit already knew to be true. Are you going to be having a winter solstice ceremony? Let me know. Or if you already had one, tell me how it went. I'd love to hear from you so we can connect in this space. If you're really intrigued by meditation and you want to learn more about self-awareness and using meditation to guide you in your healing practice, then I encourage you to check out my meditation membership. It's in that space where we release any stress or heavy weight that we've been carrying so we can guide ourselves back to the love, peace, and joy that we desire. It's a beautiful community of like-minded beings who are showing up, supporting each other, and truly embracing their spirituality as they grow, learn, and evolve. Maybe you want to connect deeper on your healing journey in a one-to-one space with me so you can fully embrace your journey. Definitely check out my mentoring offers. All the links are below in the description, so you can check them out there. You can read further on my website, reminding you my business is called Adventuring with Poseidon Wellness. Otherwise, I'm going to be back here next week with another video for you to support and guide you on your spiritual journey. So again, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, drop a comment below. Let me know how you plan on moving through this winter season that maybe is different than winter seasons past. What are you going to do to rest and heal on your journey? Sending you all so much love and light. Thank you again for being here, and I look forward to chatting at you next week in the next video. Bye.